What's up? What's up? What's up, fight fans? We are back at it with another edition here at Round World Sports TV. I am always your host, Edwin, and where do all fights start? Round one. So we have an amazing showdown fight here in taking place in Japan in the Tokyo Arena. Reports say all 55,000 tickets have already been sold. So if you've been looking for that fight, unfortunately, it is sold out. You probably can overpay and get some tickets here and there because you know how it goes in the game, but that fight is sold out. So, ladies and gentlemen, we got a lot to talk about. We have boxing news and headlines today. We're gonna be reading off, and so don't forget to click that like button. Become a Round One Sports Talk member, and like always, let's hop right into this episode. What up, Chad? What's up, Frontline? What it do, bro? Let me pop you up right here on the screen. What it do, my brother, my great brother? How's everything today?
What's happening?
Man, listen, shit. After last night, man, I'm a little recovering, bro. Let me tell
Yo,
you,
you
man.
was you was
Yo, I
wavy.
was lit. Yo, listen. Why? I want to ask Carlos. Why did Carlos allow me to drink those root beers like that? You know what I'm saying? Those was alcoholic root beers. Okay. Yo, I was lit. But anyway,
That was
um,
La Poo.
he love boo boo. Yo, bro. You see what two
Bro,
cans will do to me, man? Just two
you was
cans, man.
you was
I'm out of
wavy.
wavy. Oh no, but it was great though, man. You know what I'm saying? It felt like I was hanging out with the guys for a minute, and but in the comfort of my own home where it was safe. You know what I'm saying? So even though I got up last night like staggered, I was like, oh shit, this shit. I asked my wife, like, what you done gave me? You know what I mean? Because my wife was telling me about them, and she was like, "Yo, they creep up on you," and I'm like, "Yeah, right. This is a woman's drink." Yo, yo, it was too much, but I had a great time last night, and it got me thinking. It got me thinking about this fight with Naoya Inoue and Junto Nakatani, right? And I was sitting back and I was going over some of the biggest headlines in today, in which, in fact, we're gonna in a part of the show we're gonna implement a segment where we talk about the top stories leading in the headlines in boxing today. I'm gonna have Frontline read all some of the top stories, and I want to know what you think about some of these situations we find ourselves in boxing. But first, I want to talk about what's on the thumbnail, what's at stake here in the Tokyo Arena. Listen, there's four belts on the line. Oh, my bag, five. The Ring Magazine, too. It's all on the line for Naoya Inoue and Junto Nakatani to go out to Japan, to Tokyo, Japan, and give one, which I believe is going to be probably the biggest fight we have in 2026. As you can see, we had a lot of fights kick off 2026. We had some upsets, we had some great victories, knockouts, and title defenses, and new Shakur Stevenson. You know what I mean? So, we have we've so far start to the new year, we've already had an amazing year, but now ending and closing the year, we have some really big fights like Jerron Boots and Ennis and Xander Zayas. Am I right? So when I take a closer look at this fight with Naoya Inoue and Junto, I'm watching Junto spar, right? I've always talked about this. What could be a great fighter? Good coaching, a good game plan, and can you get the student to carry it out? I think Junto is the perfect student. I think Junto, I'm not going to hold them, and I've told you this before. Don't hold some of these fights to some of their last performances. I don't think that Junto Nakatani is going to approach the fight that he fought with Hernandez there, that he's going to go in it the same way with Naoya Inoue. I doubt that. And I don't think he's going to try to meet Naoya Inoue speed for speed. The only thing that Junto can meet him at is with the jab. But once the punches start flying, Junto has to, I believe his approach must be different. He's going to have to try to nullify Naoya Inoue's power somehow. His power carries throughout rounds, as we can see that Naoya Inoue throughout his career, he has got stoppages early, mid round, and late. So for 36 minutes, Junto Nakatani is going to have to be almost perfect. When you're talking about a fighter like Naoya Inoue, sometimes we, and even myself, I I I I forget he's in a 1% of boxers. This is not just any old boxer, average Joe coming up the weight division. This is the best the boxing world has right now in Naoya Inoue. He is the best fighter, hands down, we have today. The more complete fighter all around in all aspects of the game. So I think Junto, in order to be perfection, he's going to have to be perfect. It's not have to be perfect in the sense that everything have to look smooth. No, perfection can look violent. There can be perfection and violence. It can be brutal, but perfected in the right way. As long as Junto knows exactly what he's doing, he may have to rough up Naoya in a way. He might have to resort to some tactics. Because when you can't beat a guy, even find another way. Doesn't mean you can't beat him. Naoya in a way is very skilled. But Junto, he's got good height, good length, and he definitely got good power. His speed, I would say it's slightly above average. Slightly. I wouldn't say for Japanese fighter, he's the fastest. No, no. Naoya Inoue is probably top tier. You got a lot of other guys that are evenly fast, but not as powerful as Junto. Not as powerful. I'll trade three of those speed punches for one power shot if I was Junto. Don't I don't think that his approach he should try to actually box Naoya Inoue. I don't think you want to do that. And I think that although Junto is a very good boxer, just look at the people that he fought though. He's never fought anybody like the kind of level that Naoya Inoue is on. He's never fought anybody like that. So I've never seen that. I can't just say that Junto beat this dude, this dude. They're not Naoya Inoue. So now I've literally in this fight, when I went to the canvas to paint my masterpiece, what I felt like Junto had to do was go to a blank slate. I think that that's his best start. Don't do anything you're normally doing and shit and come up with a game plan, that Naoya Inoue might not expect. When Naoya Inoue's team studies Junto, they've seen the Western side, trained Japanese fighter. I saw that a lot of people, when they switched up shit and they didn't come in the ring like Naoya Inoue expected, it gave them some problems. It did. So Junto, he can capitalize on some of these things and surprise Naoya Inoue. But at the same time, don't waste your moments. Junto, do not waste your moments.
Yo, hold on, Edwin. Hold on. I know you on a roll here. Luis Manuel Roman Padilla. You want attention, you're gonna get it. Fuck you, you bitch ass. You can talk shit. We're not gonna block you here, but we're gonna talk shit back. I'm gonna let you know that.
Anyway, Lewis, listen. So, and thank you anyway. That's my co-host. I live vicariously through him, and he's also my pit bull. So if you come in here acting up, he's gonna let you know. So listen, um, see, these are the things that I think that Junto needs to um be good at in order to beat a fighter like Naoya Inoue. He needs to be almost perfect. in his delivery and his approach. It doesn't have to look technically sound. And I repeat, because violence can look any way, but don't lose control. Don't lose. You see, a lot of guys that fight Naoya Inoue, what ends up happening, they come out strong in the first round. They're confident. They're like, I'm going to execute my game plan. By the second, third round, they look lost. They look like they forgot what they were in there to do. They forgot they it's like they were like surviving. Really, like look at when I went back and watched the Stephen Kubo Fulton fight against Naoya Inoue, I realized a lot of things. That Naoya Inoue, not only was he shutting down Stephen Kubo Fulton, but Stephen Kubo Fulton was trying to will himself back into the fight. He was literally in the ring trying to reset and say to himself, okay, don't be scared to throw punches. Because every time he threw that jab, that right hand over the top, Naoya Inoue was hurting him with it. Although a lot of these guys are trained, they are trained boxers, and they can hide their expression very, very well at the pro level. They don't like an amateur, you punch a guy and he shows you where he's like, ow, but these guys at the top level, they can hide it and mask it very well. Sometimes you can't even tell when the guy is hurt unless he wobbles. Then you're like, oh shit, I got you, you know? So that's the thing that Junto can be very effective in this fight. He's gonna have to understand that Naoya Inoue is not gonna give you a lot of moments. He makes a lot of corrections in real time. Not every boxer can do that. A guy will come out and typically make an adjustment. It'll take him 2 or 3 rounds and his coach to figure out Naoya Inoue is doing it right in front of you. If you hit him with a shot, he's like, okay, he understands what he did wrong and he won't be in that position again. You're gonna have to keep figuring out ways to confuse Naoya Inoue. Junto. It's gonna be a tough assignment, but not an impossible one. Not an impossible one. And then you always have to add the punching factor. You're dealing with two guys that are big punchers. One punch can change the fight at any course in the fight. Everything could be going smooth, like they fight in, pop, 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 pop. And just one of them catches one, boop. Yo, that can change the fight. It can change the fight. But Junto can't bank on knocking out Naoya Inoue. I wouldn't. That's not a good way to go. That's not a good way to go. You're probably
Yeah,
not
let
going
me
to knock
catch up
him
with the
out.
chat real quick, bro.
Yep. Go ahead, brother.
Black Ubiquity. Peace. Carcast. Drop the link. Who's fighting? Question. J. Ocean Wagner says, the Uno salute. So, I was quiet for a minute. I went to YouTube instead of Restream. I went back to YouTube. You know who Luis Manuel Roman Padilla is?
No, who is it?
The one that says, you a loser and will always be a loser. You know who that is?
Who?
That's the podcaster or wannabe content creator that never made it. That actually, his channel is no longer in existence.
Really?
The Boxing Outcome.
Oh shit, that dude.
Yeah, that
Oh man,
clown.
yeah, yeah. He's got like, I think he's like has a fetish with me or something. He can't leave me alone, huh?
Ese que se meta el dedo por el culo, el
Yeah, yeah,
cabrón.
yeah. Just throw him off
Um,
then. If that's him, just throw him off
no,
and
no,
let.
no, no, no. That we're gonna engage with him today. He looking for
No,
for
no, no, no.
for.
He can definitely watch the show if he wants, but don't let him type or text anything at all, at all. He's
Cor-
already shown me his true colors. Uh, um,
Un vira, un puerco, el cabrón.
yeah, he takes things too personal. He's the type of person that thinks that everybody needs to hear him talk. He doesn't know what a conversation is, in fact. So he doesn't get the
Tremendo huele
privilege.
bicho.
Yeah, he doesn't have the privilege to type away in my chat. So if he wants to see the show, he can turn it off, do whatever you want. but don't let him. Yeah, that guy, he's just a ball of anger. Like he's just he diverts all his anger on every misguided anger everywhere. I've watched
Uh,
him for a little while. Yeah, he's got issues. But anyways, but I hope you the best,
Carcass
bro.
says, "Yo, round one is the fight on tonight? No, the fight is Saturday morning.
Yes,
Saturday morning.
yes, yes.
Carlos Super Navedo, round one sports talk. Salute.
Salute.
Who's that? Who was that? Carlos, that was el huelebicho es the boxing outcome.
Barkin, yeah, he's a crash out. He's a
Uh,
total crash dummy.
Carcass, that was Johnny's burner account. Nah, that's not Johnny.
No, we got
Rip
a lot of
says,
people.
greetings from Australia. What
Yes,
up,
sir.
Rip?
Salute, salute, salute.
El brother, Jason Ayala. What up, round one in frontline? Bull Rider. Greetings, fellas.
What up, guys? Yeah.
Rachel Espada. Salute, guys. What's up? Nakatani by TKO.
Oh, oh, we're gonna talk about it. We're gonna talk about it. Look, I like the fact that a lot of people actually have Nakatani in this fight because what does that say, guys? Let's be honest. That says that there's competition here. It's not a one-sided fight. Not everybody's going into this fight thinking Naoya Inoue is gonna win this fight. And as I've been breaking down Junto Nakatani's strategies, I'm gonna give you his side. I'm also gonna give you Naoya Inoue's side, of course, because this is my job as covering boxing. I'm trying to tell you the ways to beat Naoya Inoue. I don't protect him. I don't claim to protect him. I don't have to. The man can fight perfect. So me breaking down ways of beating him is just me a way of me being fair. It's because I'm really watching both fighters. May the best man win in fair competition. So as I broke down Junto's ways and his strengths, I think that Junto's strength is his his reach, right? And his height. Well, I'm not sure if it's his reach because I both believe they have the same arm reach. Um, but Junto's definitely taller at 5'8", and Naoya Inoue at 5'5". So I think that Junto and his coach can come up with a good game plan is if he's able, stronger, big enough to take Naoya Inoue's punches. Um, don't let Naoya Inoue just fire off on you from the outside. If you want to play that mid-game shit with Naoya Inoue, you're done. You're gonna have to stay a little bit on the outside, try to frustrate Naoya Inoue, get him to chase you like Roman Cardenas did. When Roman Cardenas got Naoya Inoue to chase him, he halted immediately, threw the check hook, landed, and almost hit and knocked out Naoya Inoue, and which he almost pulled off one of the biggest upsets we've probably witnessed in boxing in recent time. That would have been a huge upset. So,
Hey, hold on, Edwin. Bull Rider,
yeah,
fuck you.
eh,
Oh, shout out to Work Hard Show. He said round one, the front line was good. Bull Rider, fuck you. He said, word has it that front line is still trying to complete them 20 push-ups. Facts.
Yes, 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 yes. Thank you, Bull Rider. Bull Rider, listen, my man, yo, listen, word has it
yo,
on the street. He still has not given those push-ups at all. Yes. You
yo,
know, he's not good money, guys. I'm sorry. You know what I
Chi-
mean?
Chile de García. Chile de García se saludo, don Edwin Coleón, puro para adelante y cero miedo.
That's right. That's right.
Flyer, Edwin in front line. Salute, Flyer.
What up, Flyer?
Sal-
So,
Saludo
so
al compa que lee los comentarios. And then Richard says, and that fight going to be the end of Inoue. Nakatani by TKO round siete.
okay, show up here in the morning. when we're watching this fight on May 2nd, and put your prediction in for the Notre Dame's world title and see if you could prove to the world you know how to call these fights.
Well, he
Everybody
don't got to
says,
show up because he already made his prediction. He ain't got to
no, no,
show
no,
up.
no, no, no,
I
no, no,
just,
no, 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 no. You got to
oh well,
show
yeah.
up. I'm not gonna
If
give
you
you
want to win
credit.
the title, you got to be in presence.
Yeah,
Yep,
yeah,
you're
we
right.
went through that before here, where a guy said, "Hey, I said it 2 weeks. You weren't here on the live, bro. You don't get credit. I'm sorry." Like, yeah, you got to be here with all of us rocking out. So there's what I say about Junto. Now there's another man in the ring in Naoya Inoue, in which I believe he needs no introduction. He's a two-time all four belt, two division, undisputed champion of the world. Naoya Inoue has been doing some remarkable things for boxing. And in fact, I believe the only reason why most of America knows Junto, it's because of Naoya Inoue. It's kind of like going out to watch a basketball game, and you're watching the game, and you're watching Kobe Bryant, but Michael Jordan steps on the court. That's kind of like how it is. Kobe, the Black Mamba's nice, but you can't ignore MJ, the real GOAT. So, Naoya Inoue, his fighting style, how should I break down Naoya Inoue's fighting style? He does it all. He truly does it all. He adapts to his fighters at sometimes. He if you don't know what you're watching, you won't know that Naoya Inoue is actually taunting you in the ring. In actuality, Naoya Inoue messes with fighters' heads and their mind. At some point in the fight, he'll start to mimic you. He'll start to do exactly what you're doing, and then he'll teach you in the ring. He'll do it better. He fucks with fighters like that, man. Naoya Inoue. That must be frightening to see somebody do that and recognize that he's doing it. Now, if you don't catch on to it, and later you go back and watch the fight and you're like, oh shit. But Naoya, in a way, he's really dangerous in the sense of in the art of boxing. He is really, really skilled. Um, I don't think that the fact that he got knocked down 2 times should discredit his boxing ability,
Hey,
because
real quick, Edwin. Shout out to Chang in the building. He said Junto got 1 inch advantage to KO Monster.
oh,
LOL.
that's what's up.
And then Phil, he must be watching from overseas or something because he says good morning. Just a flying visit from me to ask which networks is the fight going to be on. It's not going to be another Facebook fight, is it? No.
No.
If I'm not mistaken, I'll pull it
Top
up
Rank already
real
signed
quick.
with the zone. I thought we went through this.
No, but he's
Naoya
just
in
flying by. He's a new guy.
Oh, okay, okay. No,
Easy.
no. Well, the boxing world, we found out. We all thought that Bob Arum, sacrificed Xander for the deal. You understand? So we all know that the top ranked network is now with the Zone streaming. It's obviously going to be sh- shown on the Zone somewhere, because all these guys are with the Zone now. That's what's going on. It's been going on in the boxing world. Thank you for tuning in, and I will inform you on that. That most accept the PBC. Ed Hearn, Frank Warren, Oscar De La Hoya, now Top Rank have all signed to the Zone streaming. So it's pretty much you're gonna have to watch Naoya Inoue on the Zone streaming app.
It's actually the zone pay per view though
Or it
for the
might be,
now.
yeah, you might be able to just buy the fight by itself. You might not have to buy like the whole membership. If you want, you could just purchase the fight. I'm not sure what it's gonna be. It might be like $29, $25 or some shit, 35. Depending. I've seen some fights from all on the zone for $24. I've seen some for $39. I saw one for they had a package deal for $89 where they gave you 2 fights, but it's definitely going to be streamed on some type of the zone pay-per-view app. So if anybody is interested in the fight and watching the fight, that's going to be May 2nd. It's going to probably kick off at 6:30, right? The main card, I'll get back to you. I think actually this main card's gonna be a little bit later for the American public, if I'm
Yeah,
not
well, it starts at
mistaken.
4 a.m. It starts at 4 a.m. on the
Yeah,
zone. That's what time the card starts. The
but when
Inoue
Naoya
fight might
Inoue
be a little
makes
bit
his
later.
ring walk, it might be like 11 a.m. out here. The
That'll
walk
be good.
period. They're trying to
Bull
put.
Rider wants to know who's the samurai and who's the ninja.
Thank you, thank you, thank you. I was waiting for
Phil-
somebody to ask me that. I was
Well, we'll get
waiting.
back to him. Hold on. Phil says Stephen Fulton had 3.5 inches. Doesn't mean shit.
Doesn't mean shit. Now, Nail,
Bentley, in a way, is the best fighter in this era. His aggressive style with precision landing. Phil, he says, oh, okay. Now I know who he is. That's the motorsports guy. That's the guy that follows the he was here before. You right. I know who he is. He's the one that does the car racing shit.
oh, okay. My man. Yeah. So I hope I broke
Low,
that down for you. I thought you was
low
somebody
key,
else, the other Phil from. Yeah, I thought. Yeah, my bag.
low key in the building. He says, I
Low
have it
key.
55-45 in the way.
There you go. There you go. Eh,
Mio,
Yep.
Pera, el brother. And one more thing, Inoue looks more solid and dangerous with
Ooh,
every fight.
he does. And you know what? Like for expectation, we'll continue and we'll get to there. What the expectation for Naoya to do after, but he has to get by Junto first. Now, preparing for a fighter like Junto, the crazy thing is when I was describing Naoya Inoue's like ability to adapt to his fighter, I can't really say a lot about Naoya Inoue's style. Only the fact that everything that he does is at a superior high level. Um, he can switch it up. He can box off the back foot. He can box off the front foot. He can box. He can cut angles. He can cut the ring. He can um he can knock your lights out. There is nothing Naoya Inoue can't do in that ring. This for me can be either a really short night or a long night. I think that Junto has what it takes to give Naoya Inoue a challenge, but I really think inside, I have a have a bad feeling they're gonna let Naoya Inoue and Junto actually fight in that ring. Naoya Inoue doesn't like to share the spotlight. He might not be very real loud. You don't hear from him. He's not loud.
And that's where the problem's going to be, Edwin.
I'm telling you,
I
listen,
think I think if they unleash if Inoue's dad unleashes Inoue and lets him go like a mad dog at Junto, that's where we see that
I don't.
Nakatani can
I
clip
listen.
Inoue and hurt him bad.
No. I look. Okay, respect. That's in a way that you view it. So as a fighting fan, stuff. I accept what you say, right? I think if they let him go, in which I think they're going to, because Naoya Inoue wants to prove to Japan, how dare you? How dare you? For everything I have done for the island of Japan, and you guys easily wrote me off, and the newspapers and the headlines in Japan read new monster Junto Nakatani, and that he will defeat Naoya Inoue. You think Naoya Inoue didn't hear that? Listen, you have to really pay attention the bad blood that just built here. It's all bad blood, but with a smile. You know how those Japanese dudes are. They're real humble. They don't wear their emotions a lot on their sleeve. So Naoya Inoue is cracking a grin like this, like, and he's pissed. He is pissed off. Bro, Japan seems like they never believed in him. Just remember that that's the same country that turned their backs on him when they didn't invite him to fight for the Olympics. Japan thought there was a better fighter than him. Remember that. Your own country didn't believe in you. Naoya Inoue. Now all of a sudden he did all of this. Two-time undisputed champion. And this freaking kid Junto Nakatani knocks out a couple people, and all of a sudden, he's gonna whoop his ass. Naoya Inoue is truly pissed. You
No,
gotta
see,
kind of try to
you're
think.
viewing it. You're
Listen,
viewing
no,
it as a fan, Edwin.
no, no,
You
no, no.
gotta
Yeah,
you gotta
yes,
understand how
right.
Japan is viewing it.
No, no. Listen,
Here's a prime
what
example.
I'm
Here's a
viewing.
prime
No, no,
example.
no.
Edwin,
Check it
here's a
out.
prime
Wait, wait,
example.
wait,
If
wait.
you
Frontline.
have two people
Go ahead.
from Puerto Rico in the same weight class,
It's different.
people, no, it's not. People in the island, right? We're gonna view each
You're
fighter distinctively, and we're gonna choose a favorite.
no. That's a different
That's what's happening
situation.
in Japan, and they're
No, that's a
saying
different
that
situation than what I'm talking
Junto.
about. That's a different situation than what I'm talking about. What I'm talking about is GOAT status. That's what I'm talking about. I'm not talking about just two fighters
No,
and
no,
we're
no, no, no.
supposed
I know what you're saying about Inoue, that he's the GOAT for Japan.
that
But but the whole topic here is that Nakatani is the up and coming
yeah,
fighter for
that's
Japan.
okay, okay. I'm front line. What I'm trying to explain here is that Naoya Inoue doesn't give a fuck about that. He only cares
I
about
under you
himself.
I get it, but you're saying that Inoue's frustration is that Japan is claiming Nakatani
Is
is gonna
better.
be,
Yes.
yes. That's the problem, and that's what I'm saying. What I'm
Okay, and
saying
this is what
is,
I'm saying. This is what I'm saying, right? The fans have the right to their opinions, and you're still talking about something I'm not talking about. What I'm trying to get you to see is the psychotic fighter that lives in Naoya Inoue. You got to see that a lot of athletes talked about Michael Jordan, that he used to just pick fights on the court. If you looked at him, people wouldn't even look him in the eye because he just needed an excuse. That's how psychotic he was. Brady, he passed everybody in the NFL on so many levels, and he would convince himself. What did that guy say about me? You think you're better than me? Oh, something in his head, and he was real polite about it. They were psychotic men. The way those guys think, like Terrence Crawford. Terrence Crawford won't let Shakur Stevenson beat him in checkers. He's so fucking competitive. Terrence Crawford won't let his grandmother run by him on a layup. He'll stuff her. Boop. He's too competitive. That's what I'm talking about. I'm talking about Naoya Inoue heard all this shit. It's not about the fans big. It's the ninja that lives in Naoya Inoue. He's an assassin. He's not a samurai. Naoya Inoue, Junto's the samurai. Naoya Inoue just wants to kill you, destroy you, embarrass you in the ring in the most polite way. But I can see through that. I see his psychoness. Do you understand what it took for one man to interrupt that award ceremony in Japan? Brother, they present each other with flowers. Grown men, here's a bouquet of flowers. That is tradition. Shh, be quiet. Wait until your name is called. Say what you need to say and walk to the left. Naoya Inoue stopped the award ceremony to address him. No one knew about. When did he ever do some shit like that? That's that little crazy competitor in his head. I bet you Naoya Inoue lost sleep behind that. What do you mean Junto's better than me? What do you mean you guys think he's better? Nah. Wait, who's better than me? Yo, he's tapped up here. Naoya
you
Inoue,
think that could play? You think that could play a role in the fight?
no, because when they're that tapped, they're that driven. Michael Jordan didn't lose control in the game. Brady didn't. He came back in the fourth quarter. They were even more dangerous. When you're tapped like that, like those kind of guys, you're fucking even more dangerous. You're gonna get the best out of Naoya Inoue in this fight. I just have a bet. Yo, I have a feeling he's ready to put on a show, like a real show. You listen, I understand certain things in athletes. I understand certain things in trades. your art, your work. You Naoya Inoue has been training like this since a child for this moment, for this fight right here. You got to understand that his entire career has built him to right here, the now. This is what we're supposed to see from our American best. But this is the part we usually don't see because when our guys are at this level, they start to go down. Too many parties, too many lamplight, and your opponents get less and less. That's what he doesn't. That's why this shit right here, I talk about it. I'm trying to alert the boxing public. Yo, check out this fucking dude, bro. Instead of his competition getting lower up in age at 32 on his way out, he's going towards his biggest threat ever. And then after the biggest threat, what's he saying? I'm going to another weight division, an even bigger challenge. The Japanese, not as he gets older, his challenges are getting weaker. They're getting actually stronger. It's a great champion. The one thing Terrence Crawford has against like Floyd and a lot of the old champions, Terrence Crawford went out on a high note. This dude jumped up 2 weight divisions and fought Saul. That kind of dangerous fighter, bro, that is a real high note to walk out on your career on. Respect, brother. And this Japanese dude, I guess he's taking notes from Terrence Crawford. He's like, well, if Terrence could do some shit like that, well, then I got to do some shit like that. And that starts to elevate boxing. Maybe Tio will do some shit like that. Maybe Shakur, maybe Tank, you know? And it'll encourage other boxers to take bigger risk because it's worth the reward. 55,000. And by the way, that sold out in within a month. It was already sold out within a month. All right. So what I'm saying is this: Naoya Inoue is dangerous all 36 minutes. I think that Naoya Inoue is just gonna flow here. You know that he comes out in the first round and he takes a lot of information really fast. I think that Naoya Inoue is gonna be quick on the trigger. He's got good twitch-like muscle movements, and he knows how to set up his punches. He's very accurate. One of the key, I think one of the key weapons that he has a lot. Just one. I mean, let me talk about one. One of the best weapons he has is his first step. That first step where he closes the distance to the opponent, it's so like I've heard a lot of fighters talk about it. He's so fast and so quick off that. And then even when he's throwing punches, his body shifts to the right position to throw the best favorable punch. Junto doesn't have that kind of rhythm. He does have the twitch like a little bit of the speed and good power to defend himself, but he has a really good long high guard. Junto can protect a lot. All he has to do is bend his knees and get in that high guard. But he can't just let Naoya Inoue fire off on him. Naoya Inoue is not the type of fighter that starts punching on you and loses track of the fighter in front of him. Meaning, some guys fall in love with punching and they start to drop their hands and they forget that that guy got 2 hands too and they get clipped. Naoya is on high alert with that kind of shit. He's expecting another shot. He gets aggressive. He goes in for the 50-50 fight. The 50-50 fight in boxing is where you go in the inside and you meet the fighter in front of you and you start to exchange right there. Anything can happen in boxing because you're in a, that's why your coach tells you, don't get in the 50-50 exchange. The rule in boxing is if you miss the first 2 punches, miss, do not throw the third. You're going to get knocked out. Do not throw that third punch.
Hey Phil,
Because
have a good night, bro.
you're
Thanks for stopping
behind.
by.
Yep, you're behind on the exchange. Don't throw that third one. So there's certain things in boxing that, but if Naoya in a way stood on the outside and used his, uh, he's dangerous everywhere. So I think that in this fight, I think Naoya in a way is actually, in fact, going to stop Junto. He's going to stop Junto. Unfortunately, Junto will suffer his first loss. That's my prediction. I think he packs up Junto between. I want to give I
Whoa,
my
whoa, whoa, whoa. When you say between, that's the interim. I don't want to hear no
okay.
between.
No. This is not for the title right now. Just because I'm round one sports talk, I can't give my prediction. I got to show up on that day. Yeah, just because I'm the host, no, the same rules apply to me. Anybody can give their prediction here today, but if we were going for the, you got to show up May 2nd. You know that how it goes, but I'm gonna give mine. You see, there's a part sometimes when I'm breaking down fights, I want to be generous. I want to be kind. I don't want to like say that if I say that he's gonna knock him out early, that would be discrediting Junto now, wouldn't it? It would sound that way now, would it? But I want to talk freely. I want to really tell you what I think. I think Junto's in a lot of trouble. A lot of trouble. I think Junto is a great fighter. I think he's gonna get stopped in this fight. And if it does happen, my boxing insight wants to give Junto a lot of credit here. I want to say he's gonna stop him 9, 10, 11, right around there. That's because I want to give him credit, but that's not actually how I see it. I think Junto's gonna be in a lot of fucking trouble in 4, 5, and 6. I think the night might be over. Or it might be just, yeah, yeah, 4, 5, or 6. I'm not gonna go up anymore. Usually, Nail, yeah, in a way, his fights have been lasting past 6 rounds on average. He hasn't been knocking guys out like he used to in the beginning because the competition was less. Now the fighters are more intelligent in front of him, more durable, more skilled. So it's a lot tougher to knock them out. And even though I know the odds, I know the numbers in this fight, Junto is expected to go past 7. Yes, he is. In most boxing circles, he's expected to pass 7. Round 1, I'm not most boxing circles. I'm gonna tell you right now, I could be wrong. I could be wrong. It could be a great fight. Shit, Junto could even win this fight. Okay, all right. This is just how I see it, and I want to ask you, how do you guys see it? What do you guys fuck what I say, right? Let me hear your opinion. Let's share with us and tell me why you think Junto could beat Naoya in a way and vice versa. And I
Well,
hope
here we got
you show up there.
Zodiac says Nakatani we saw does not fight good. If he's fighting on his back foot like his fight against Hernandez, even if Nakatani hurts Inoue, I think Inoue can make quick adjustments, which Nakatani can't.
Yep.
Low key says early Nostradamus from round one. WMS says round fucking uno. Chang says
Yep.
nobody beating Monster at 22. Period. Dead stop. All right, you said 4, 5, 6 somewhere in that range.
Somewhere in that range. That's what I got. I got 4, 5,
All
6, I
right,
think. Yeah. What do you got?
here we go. Here we go. I see in a way losing
Okay. Tell me why.
somewhere.
Tell me why.
Somewhere. Hold on, I'm gonna get to that. I'm gonna give you the rounds somewhere between. I gotta go with Richard on this 7, 8, 9 somewhere in that range.
Ooh. Okay.
Now, why and how?
Yeah.
QS in the building. Salute. Um, I would say here's what I think. I think Junto's game plan is exactly what you said. He's not gonna come with your normal game plan. I think he's gonna come with a game plan that's gonna disrupt in a way that's gonna make in a way think a hell of a lot more than he's thought any other fight.
Yep.
I think his team is prepared for that. They know Inoue makes adjustments on the fly. They know that.
Yeah.
They know Inoue, they know Inoue is a come forward fighter, but he's also dangerous on the back foot. They know that.
Right.
So what Nakatani's team is gonna do is they're gonna ruffle some feathers
How
and
though? How are they gonna apply that pressure that
okay.
a lot of fighters
No, no,
can't
no,
do
no.
it?
Because in the early rounds, he's not gonna apply pressure. He's
So
gonna
how is
do
he gonna
exactly what
disrupt
you
his
just said.
feathers, like you say? How is he gonna
It's not gonna
get
happen
him
early on.
frustrated? How is he
So
gonna
look,
fuck with him? How? How?
you know how a team comes up with a plan A, plan B, and plan
Oh
C?
yeah. Okay. Yeah.
Okay,
That we have to
so
see then. Okay, I get it.
they have plan for round one, a plan for round two, three, four, five, six, seven, eight, and then in nine is finish him.
You see, that's where you
That's what's gonna
messed up
happen.
right there, front line. You right where you
Nah.
started. You said they had a plan for round one. No one has a plan for round one. You can't mess with round one, all right? You know what I'm saying? Round one's first talk. You know what I
I'm
mean?
just someone in the building. Salute. He says $50 to win 550. Already placed a bet in the way to win the fight, but get knocked down.
Who's
Okay,
he
so
got?
back to yet. He's got Inoue. He's got okay. So he's yes. We talked about this yesterday. You were a little wavy, but
I
but
was twisted. Go ahead.
he was gonna bet $1,000.
Okay.
No, $100 to win 1,000. And his prediction is that Inoue is gonna get knocked down in the fight, but he's gonna win ultimately. That was his and it's not his prediction. That's just the betting odds is what he's talking about.
Um,
Loki said he wants to hear a no, no, no.
yo, low key. No, no, no. Hey, yo, Q. People need to give
Hold on, I'm not there yet.
Junto's last
I got
opponent,
you.
Hernandez, more credit. That guy was a tough, undefeated fighter.
Undefeated fighter.
Yes. I think they did have to give him a little bit more credit. And in fact, I want to apologize to something that I said way back that I don't even think that Hernandez was like on the ranking for like a tough fighter for Junto. In fact, I Frontline challenged me to this. I never actually told Frontline this, but I went and I looked it up, and Frontline was actually right on this one. But he didn't need to know that, so don't let Frontline know he was right.
I'm always right.
Hernandez was actually ranked higher. He was a very terribly unknown, so maybe not by a lot majority of boxing, but by Mexicans, they probably knew him, right? He was a lot tougher than I thought. So I do gotta give QS, yo, thanks for that, right? Because Hernandez needs to more credit for he was in fact another person in that ring against Junto, and he was fighting Junto. He was probably a little bit better than what we thought.
Bull Rider says Inoue is predicted to win by 96%.
Jesus, Bull Rider. Is that true?
Dude, if that's true, Nakatani's in big trouble. But Zodiac says the most important thing Nakatani has to do is can Nakatani's gas tank last anyways? Chang says Junto needs to move forward, pressure to win. Monster hard to hit.
That's the
I'm
problem. A
just
lot of people try to pressure him, right? When you try to pressure a striker, like and a pinpoint striker like Naoya Inoue, I'll tell you what happens when you pressure him. Ask Donito Donari. He has one of the greatest pressure games and check hooks in the game. He pressured Naoya Inoue against them ropes and got knocked out. Luis Pantera Nari pressured uh, the Japanese star against the rope and got knocked down. Okay, there has been a lot of people that have tried to pressure Naoya Inoue. He's a great pressure counter fighter. He can counter your pressure. He's not that easy. Like when you think about situations in boxing, when I talk about Naoya Inoue, I'm realistic in the sense that I respect his craft. He's 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 different. Just saying pressure is not going to convince me to do it because I have to ask you, how are you going to do it? where's this kind of pressure that he's never dealt with, that he folded under the pressure, even while being knocked down in fights and the guy was attacking him, Luis Pantera Nara and Roman Cardenas, with that pressure while being stunned at the weakest. He showed the highest skill. He knew when to grab him, when to spin, how to stay away. It was like he did everything correct after the knockdown. And remind you, that's coming from a man that has never been knocked down, not even in the amateurs. So he had no experience on ever being knocked down in his life. That was a first for him. And for a person going through that for the first time, everything he did after that, that's not something you coach. That's instinctive. You were born to fight. What's up, Koki?
Yo, what's up, Edwin? What's up, Frontline, my brothers? Salute to the chat. Everybody hit the sub and like. Round one sports talk. Yo, I like Junto. I respect him. I did have him losing the previous fight. I know a lot of people don't agree with that, but the way I see this fight going between Junto Nakatani and Inoue is, man, I think Junto is durable. I just think Inoue has more of a hunger to win this fight in terms of the mental battle. It'll be a chess match in there. Both guys will try to read each other with the feints, with the jab, with the footwork. But I think Inoue has more of a how you say a deeper hunger to win a fight.
Yes.
I think Junto will be more hungry to survive as opposed to win, because in his mental battle down round 5, 6, and 7, I think Junto would try to just try to get by rounds because I think Inoue has a different type of power and timing in terms of when he lands on guys. It's not just the power; it's the timing of it. And I just see Inoue as a more dangerous fighter, the better fighter, more skillful fighter, and the more complete fighter. And I have Inoue winning 8th round knockout. Either a stoppage in the corner, the corner does a no mas, or it'll just be too much to Junto. And
Right.
I think Junto will also go on his shield too. He's a proud warrior. He's a proud professional. He definitely takes his craft seriously, and he's one of the best pros out there. But Inoue is a different level, and after this fight, hopefully Inoue could pick his path now with whatever weight class he wants to go to.
Yeah.
I don't think you're gonna get a no mas from a Japanese person. Those
Yeah,
fucking dudes, those dudes are warriors.
they'll die for it, right?
It's like you said, he's gonna go out on his shield. That's what I think is gonna happen.
I think you're gonna have to detach him from his senses, Junto. He'll just keep coming out every round.
Yep.
I think he'll
Damn.
just keep coming out.
It'll have to be his corner that
In order to
officially.
break that will of that samurai way, like Junto, it's gonna take a lot. You gotta understand that I don't like to bring situations like this up, but let's just remember when Naoya Inoue was headlining and the undercard, the two Japanese gentlemen that fought, they were fighting for $100,000 in the Covenant Naoya Inoue trophy in Japan. Naoya Inoue, he has a trophy that fighters fight for. These guys fought to literally the death. When one man 9 days ago after that fight lost his life, those two Japanese dudes did not stop slugging, punching each other's brains out. And it showed you right there. And then, not too long after that, another Japanese fighter, a young 22-year-old, suffered another injury in the ring from not wanting to stop to fight. Their way is no retreat, no surrender, kamikaze. I don't think he's gonna stop him in the sense that Junto's gonna quit. If you can do that to Junto, that would speak louder to me. I'm not sure to the rest of the boxing world, but I would be shocked that you made Junto say no mas. Now that is a big honor. If you can do that, if you knock him out, there's nothing you can say. You knocked him out. He couldn't move. What more do you want? But the fact that I made you say uncle in front of 55,000 Japanese fans, I took your
And millions
soul.
watching.
I
Hey,
took your soul. Bro,
Edwin,
that says a
to
lot.
Edwin, real quick to respond to Frontline. I agree with him, but I just think Inoue, the way he sees Junto, he sees them as such a formidable opponent that Inoue is going to take it to the next level. And Inoue taking it to the next level, Inoue may not know how dangerous he is on the next level. He may not know. Junto may bring that out of him, And I respect Junto for having the kamikaze, the Japanese warrior, samurai spirit, the fucking scorpion from Mortal Kombat type shit, right? But here's the thing, right? If Inoue goes to that next level, and we don't know how deadly that could be, you know what I'm saying? If Junto quits, I won't be like, yo, damn, he should have kept. Like, it's just like, if Inoue brings that level, man, that's fatal. That's fatal, man. That's beyond boxing, and I respect Junto a lot. I just think Inoue takes this fight very seriously, and I think Inoue would take it up that level, that we never seen before.
Right. Good take on that. And I gotta tell you right now, right? Like I'm gonna answer
Wait.
Chang's.
Richard taking shots. Richard taking shots. He said, Coqui, no mas from what corner? Anyways?
Oh shit! Oh shit! Oh shit! Shots
Richard, yo,
fired.
salute Richard.
Yo, listen. Okay. I want to answer Chang's question here when he was saying that Roman Cardenas was on an interview saying that Naoya Inoue doesn't have power. He doesn't crack like that. Okay. Let me tell you why that statement came out of Roman Cardenas's mouth. And in fact, he might not actually be lying, but he wouldn't know the truth. And I'm going to explain why. Stay with me. Roman Cardenas experienced a different version of Naoya Inoue, the version of Naoya Inoue that just got dropped by him in the second round. The second he got dropped, he might have got caught with some shots in the first round or leading into that, and Naoya Inoue was obviously chasing him, but he hadn't really felt Naoya Inoue's full power by that time. When Naoya Inoue dropped, I'm pretty sure his father or himself, the adjustment that he made was he took off his power and he started using speed and he started using 6, 7, 8 piece combinations. You can't throw a 7 piece combination with all power shots. You're going to gas yourself out. So when you saw Naoya Inoue punch more and you noticed he took away the power and he was just touching you, pow, 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 pow.
So
Those
he
shots
basically
were
touched them
strong
with.
enough. Those shots by themselves with just normal power, pow, 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 were strong enough to light up his entire forehead. It looked like an entire, all Naoya Inoue's knuckles were all over his forehead. And by the way, Roman Cardenas, I don't think you can no longer feel the power once you're already battered. You ever get a cut and you keep smacking on at some point you're no longer gonna feel it because you're numb. You're numb. When you're gonna feel the power, they should have took that microphone and asked him 3 days later or 2 days later, hey, how's his power now? And show me your forehead when it's like this. And you're going to sleep at night with fucking ice packs on your head. Now tell me about his power. But you couldn't feel it anymore because you were numb from all the violence. But Naoya Inoue did take away power because it's not like he was going boom, bam, like dropping it like that 1-2 or 1-2-3 or 4, right? He was throwing 6, 7 punch combinations. You can't do that power punching like that. It was obvious what he did. And since I read boxing, I saw what was going on in the ring. He got a little bit more cautious. He was like, fuck, this dude dropped me. I feel a little embarrassed. And to some Americans, this is the first time they've ever seen me in America in Las Vegas. To real hardcore boxing fans, they knew I already came to America, but the casuals were saying, cross the pond, cross the pond. And next thing you know, he's on the ground. He switched it up, made the adjustments, won the fight, brutalized them. So, that's just to answer your question. When Roman, you hear that, don't sleep. Don't let these people paint these pictures and it's gonna fuck. I'm trying to tell you, I'm teaching you something. Same thing they try to say against pillow fisted Devin Haney. Brian Norman Jr. and his father ate that up. They literally thought they could stand in front of Devin Haney and walk through his power. They found out wrong the hard way. Don't believe some of these things. Like, no, you're not gonna tell me that a guy, Roman Cardenas, is come about, oh yeah, he doesn't have any power, but he knocked out like everybody. Everybody. And I saw why. You know, Stephen Kubo Fulton tried to say, oh, you know, Naoya, he don't hit hard. He don't hit hard. Brother, has anybody else ever embarrassed you like that since or before? Don't lie
Well,
to
here's the
me.
question, though. Here's the question that falls into play. Maybe Cardenas is comparing him to other 122 fighters.
No, I just
And
think Cardenas really never got Naoya Inoue's real power. I don't in the fight. You saw the last finishing sequence. It was a barrage of punches. It was boom, 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 boom. It wasn't like Luis Pantera Nari. It wasn't like the Donier. It wasn't like the McLoney fight. It wasn't like Stephen Kubo Fulton. Look at the way he put away Roman Cardenas. What was he using as an offense? You saw it. He was pop, 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 pop. It wasn't like when he knocked out Luis Pantera Nari, he was vicious, right? My man went like this. He said, boop, bang, out. Uppercut, big right hand, boom, laid into him. Roman Cardenas was like, ping, 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 ping,
hey,
ping.
Zodiac says if they fight head on, I feel like after the later rounds, Nakatani's going to be gassed and Inoue will take over. James J. Salute. He says Inoue KO Junto round 5.
Round five.
Low Key says we will have fight and round of the year on May 2nd from either monster card.
Inoue
Jason
kicked
says,
Fulton's ass.
listen, it's gonna be a good fight. It's definitely gonna be a good fight. I know it's gonna be entertaining because you got two warriors going in there. They both ain't got no quit in them. I'm leaning more Nakatani.
Okay,
You're
guys,
leaning.
guys, here. Let me teach you things how that I've studied on Naoya Inoue. Speaking of which, we're gonna bring up this Fulton. I'm gonna use Stephen Kubo Fulton, and I got receipts on this. I got
Why you
receipts on
bringing up the
this
past for?
because it's good to look back sometimes. Okay. Listen, this is what
Yo,
I
you
want
not
to show
sipping on
you,
that today, Edwin?
huh?
You not sipping on that today?
No, you can't sip on something every day, dog. You know what I'm saying? Even though, like, I try to tell myself, like, man, I'm like down and sip, but nah, you can't sip on something every day. You can't. Anyway, too much of anything makes you an addict. Can't do that. All right, Fulton. All right, check this out. Now, I know they're gonna copyright me or whatever. I don't care. I want to share something with you guys. This is how I study Naoya Inoue's punching power and how I know when he's punching and when he's not punching. And then I watch another fight from him and he just displays punching power that doesn't make sense to me. So this is why I study him so much. And you can trust in the fact that I've done my homework on him. I'm going to show you how and why. The day that this fight happened with Fulton, when Naoya Inoue knocked out Stephen Kubo Fulton, everybody got on social media and said, Naoya Inoue brutally knocked out Stephen Kubo Fulton and he destroyed him. A lot of Japanese fans came on. And what I wanted to point out was Naoya Inoue's sportsman-like conduct in the fight. His mercy, the mercy that he showed Stephen Kubo Fulton out of respect. It was so fast. I don't think a lot of people actually caught it, but I did. and I got receipts. Right in the fight, I alerted the people. They were like, "Hey, well, you crazy?" I said, "Let's go watch this together, and I'll prove it." You also got to know about fighting a little bit, just a little bit about how movement works. If I take this, drop it, it lands. That's gravity, right? They for when momentum is going, you can tell the way of the momentum of an object, can't you? Okay, check this out. Watch this. We're gonna be for educational purposes. We're gonna be studying Naoya Inoue's punching power. And when people say that he doesn't punch hard or punches hard, I'm gonna show you at sometimes he shows mercy to his opponents. He tries to show like I'm not there to really hurt you. Okay. Now,
It's
like
game
I said,
time. Momento perfecto.
for educational purposes, we're going to be taking a look at this fight. I'm not going to be taking a look at the whole fight. I'm just going to take a look at one sequence, one particular sequence, and I'm going to show you something. Watch. We are not going to be watching this fight. Okay, where is it? He's already taken off the gloves about that time. And it's actually right. Wow. Oh, this goes kind of fast, I guess. Here it is. It's right here. Stop. Okay, check this out. We're in the 8th round in the Naoya Inoue fight. I believe it was the 8th round, right? Yeah, it is 8th round. 2 minutes and 19 seconds against Stephen Kubo Fulton against Naoya Inoue. Now, Naoya Inoue has been setting up this same punch all night. He has hit Stephen Kubo Fulton several times, and Stephen didn't realize Naoya Inoue was setting him up. Now, this is what I'm talking about when I talk about Naoya Inoue's punching power and his mercy on his opponent sometimes. He doesn't show it a lot, but when he got you beat, he doesn't really try to hurt you. Pay attention to what's happening. He hit Stephen Kubo Fulton with a big shot. And when he went to go finish him, look what happened. Watch. See this punch? Everybody said that punch ended Stephen Kubo Fulton, but we're going to watch it a little bit more closely. Man, I hope this keeps playing. Watch this, guys. And this is the ending of the round. The body shot is what really hurts him in the corner. Pay attention to that slick body shot downstairs, right about there. No, right. This boom, boom, boom. Oh, that one, that check hook hurt him, but that body shot hurt him. Now let's just let it play a little bit. I want to show you something. Watch this. They were like, he blew it right. Watch his hand. Watch his hand. But now, look, wait, right there. There it is. Look. Wait. Watch. Pay attention. Watch his hand when he hits him. Look where his hand goes.
He brings it back.
He brings it back. You see his hand? You
Yep.
see his hand? You saw that, right?
He brought it back.
He told everybody. He showed him mercy. They said, why, Edwin? I said, let me tell you something. If he really wanted to hurt Stephen Kubo Fulton in that situation, when you want to hurt somebody and you're trying to finish them, just do this right now in your living room. Throw a punch. Just throw it. Your momentum's going that way. If he wanted to end Fulton, when he wanted to knock him out like brutally, when he threw that punch, his punch should have ended going towards the crowd. He should have hit him, and this should have still been going that way. When he hit him and his hand went backwards, that shows you that's a separate body movement. You would have had to tell your brain to stop and let off the punch, rather than your body doing what it was trained to do, finish him. He actually, in fact, showed Stephen Kubo he didn't want to hurt him. When he had him hurt with the big shot that he came, he went, pop, that's enough. You're a beaten man. He got up, he turned around, he said, oh, he was on the rope, he turned around, he said, oh, you still here? Pop, 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 finished him. But if Naoya Inoue really wanted to hurt Stephen Kubo Fulton with the type of power he has, Stephen Kubo Fulton was a defenseless fighter. He was out on his feet. You see how fast Naoya Inoue is. His reaction time, split second shit. Split second shit. He knew Fulton was out. And all he had to do is tap, put him down. I don't have to hurt you. And although Stephen Kubo Fulton was one of the most disrespectful fighters Naoya Inoue had fought up until that point. Remember, Fulton, Naoya Inoue got hurt. They had to extend the fight for 30 days. They had to keep Fulton in Japan. They paid for everything, kept him entertained. Naoya Inoue gave him more money, because of the 30-day. And then Naoya Inoue and his team waited until the day of the fight, the day before the fight, to call Japan's hero a cheater. With the hospitality they showed him, his crew, everything, the extra money. Bro, if you felt that way about the raps, we could have talked that. You didn't have to take a microphone and call Japan's. Bro, the entire fucking news outlet, people went, like that.
And you know what's even more crazier? That the people here in the States, they took that and ran with it and called Inoue a fucking drug cheat and a rap
All
cheat.
kinds of raps and stuff. And it was like I was looking at it saying, wait a minute. You agree, you took the $3 million, you agreed to go to Japan, you signed by their rules, you were there for 30 more extra days, knowing about the rules and everything. It's not like their rules said, oh, the only fighter that can double stack their hands is Naoya Inoue. Stephen Fulton, you can't do that. No, you could do the same thing he did. Then Fulton's coach, everybody went into Naoya Inoue's locker room. And Naoya Inoue said, tell my guy, the guy that wraps my hand, how would you like him to wrap my hand? They said, do it this way. He wrapped his hands the way the Americans asked him to. He wrapped it the same way. The official came, rocked out, and he got knocked out just like that, which proved his knockout power or his stopping. Stephen Fulton didn't win 30 seconds in no round. So that kills the notion that Naoya Inoue is all hand wraps. You understand? $20 super chat. Oh, my man, yo. Hey, yo.
Panic attack.
Huh?
He's panic attack. He's $20 super chat. Said, what's good? Edwin Inoue by KO in round 8 against Nakatani. Zodiac says Inoue has crazy stamina and never slows down. I don't think any fighter he's fought has thrown more punches than him ever. Fee in the building. He says Inoue saved last year's Cinco de Mayo after the Friday and Saturday poor performances. Let's hope this year is a lot better.
Naoya Inoue fought this Philippine fighter. I forget what his name was real early on in his career, but I could see the guy in my head. He had yellow trunks with like red trim and like red like a design on it. I could see him. He pushed Naoya Inoue young, like 19-year-old Naoya Inoue. I remember they went to the 10th round. Naoya Inoue had white boxing gloves on, and he had white shorts on in that fight. If you can remember what that fight was, that guy, that's probably the most tired and the most pushed Inoue I've ever seen, where that Inoue, his entire head was sweating and there was just drops of sweat coming down. And at the end of the fight, like they were literally, Inoue and him were pushing their punches. And I think Inoue hit him with like a 4 or 5 piece. And the dude was so tired, he couldn't put up his hand to block the punch. But Naoya Inoue was equally tired. Now I'm talking about, this is 19-year-old Naoya Inoue. But I'm just giving you an example. We've never seen him like that again. He's just been on a different level. His cardio and his stamina today is on a new level. Like
Anonymous says no one ever outboxed Inoue. If Junto
never.
can't knock him, it's over.
Well, by statistically, right? Here's a fun fact about Naoya Inoue. On average, Naoya Inoue has only lost 15, 20 rounds, maybe in his entire career. He's never been down on a scorecard in his fights. He's never had to come back in a fight. You don't win much rounds. There's not much rounds in his entire career. Single handedly, you can go out and point out and say he lost that round. Now, we can obviously say he lost the round against Luis Pantera Nare and Roman Cardenas, where they scored a 10-8 round on him. Okay. And then you can also say that the one that Nonito Donari fought him, that first fight, he lost 3 or 4 rounds in that fight. Okay. Um, Other than that, the Ryo Gucci fight, he might have lost a couple rounds in the Ryo Gucci fight, one or two, maybe. I don't think he actually lost a round, but that was a competitive fight. And you're not gonna find a lot of fights he ever lost any rounds, period. He like, okay, if you think about it, all 8 rounds against Stephen Kubo Fulton, the unified world champion. He won all 8 rounds. Marlon Tapales, he beat Marlon Tapales every round, every fight. He beat Jamie McDonald every round. They don't win rounds against him.
Yo, Picasso won like 4 rounds against him. What are you
Picasso didn't
talking
win
about?
shit. Shut up. He didn't.
Yo,
Picasso got
jab
shut out
back.
for 12 rounds.
Jab back
Picasso,
says Inoue.
MJ didn't win a round against Naoya Inoue.
Hey,
Picasso
hey,
didn't win a
jab,
round against them. Just 1 round. They don't win rounds.
ja- jab back says Inoue. By there's levels to this. Phil says Dispian. I think you're talking about, or something like that. Mark in the building. Salute, Mark. He says it's the Thai guy, Karun Jarupianer. Damn, he fucked me up with that name.
That's what he is. He was Thai. He looked a little Philippine. He might have been Thai. Yeah. Then I'll look it up. But
He said Aaron Dipian took him late, but he was running.
that's the guy. That's the guy. Aaron. That's the guy. That guy took Naoya Inoue late too. That I'm just giving you examples of fights that he's been okay. Like okay, for example, I wouldn't give you an example like Paul Butler fight because he took Naoya Inoue late, and he survived 11 rounds. But key word survived. That was no challenge for Naoya Inoue. Just a guy that was shelling up. He was basically a punching bag. He had no
Inoue won
answer.
7-5 against Picasso. Picasso 7-5. That's how Inoue won that fight.
Shut up, 7-5. You're crazy. Picasso never
Bro,
won 5 rounds against Naoya Inoue.
yes the fuck he
No, he
did.
didn't. Just stop with the lies, please. You're gonna make me go on box rec and check it too, huh? And probably those shady ass judges probably gave Picasso 1 or 2 rounds to
Or
try.
now we're blaming the judges.
He ain't never beat Naoya Inoue in no round. I watched the fight myself, man. You watched it with me. Like Picasso didn't
Five
win 1 round, bro.
rounds.
Stop it. Yo, stop with the
Yo,
lies.
Inoue was conservative in that fight. He was
I don't care how
scared to
conservative. He could have
engage.
been
He
conservative. He
was
won
scared
every
to
round.
engage.
Every round, hands down.
That Mexican is putting that pressure on him.
So what I'm saying is that was a different type of fight with Paul Butler because that was 11 rounds and Naoya Inoue wasn't gassed, wasn't pressured. We're talking about situations where Naoya Inoue was pushed to the limit, and we're trying to compare that. Can Junto find success there or get him to get there first? It's one thing to talk that moment up, but it's also another thing for Junto to make the moment happen. You understand? So Junto's really got to prove to the world that he's on a different level too, and that he's on Naoya Inoue's level. He waited for this opportunity, Rudy Hernandez and the team. Like I think that uh if you honestly ask me, I think Junto needed a little bit more time. But who am I to say tell Junto when to do it? But
Hey, Mark
honestly,
said Karun.
I think
Karun
he
was when
needed a little
both.
bit more time, a couple more fights before fighting Naoya Inoue. But Naoya Inoue's team reality is much different. They probably already expressed to him, your shot is now. You don't have
Hey,
time. Naoya
Mark
Inoue's on a
says.
schedule.
Mark says Karun was when both was exhausted. Ended with the right hand right
Yeah,
on the chin. Aaron
right,
was stopped after getting beaten up.
right. Aaron, but that fight was better. Aaron was the one with the green shorts. He had green shorts, right? Um, he was durable and tough. He made Naoya Inoue fight him. Naoya Inoue couldn't just one punch knock down that dude. His chin it held up, and
Hey,
Naoya had to hit him with a volume of punches all the time like that. He kept getting up. But the dude with the when Naoya Inoue had the white gloves when he was like 19 and he fought that dude with the yellow shorts, the one out the other dude. When he fought him, that fight was more competitive in the sense they were both throwing punches equally. He was standing with Naoya Inoue toe to toe, just like Ryaguchi. Ryaguchi stood with Naoya Inoue toe to toe. Other fighters stood right in front of Naoya Inoue where they tried. Jason Maloney actually boxed Naoya Inoue. Jason Maloney.
Picasso stood right in front of Inoue. Inoue ain't do shit.
And when he stood in front of him and Naoya took a step forward, he took 2 steps backwards all night. Yes, we saw the same fight. He stood right in front of him going backwards all night. Yes.
Hey, Phil,
Frontline.
Zodiac, work with me here. Mark knows my angle. Work with me. Mark says Karun was the yellow shorts. That's the guy, Aaron Karun. That's the fight that he's been telling you about, where they
Okay,
banged out.
that's the one that okay, you're right. Then the other guy, he had green shorts with like this funny blue like design, and I think his gloves were like dark. They were dark colored gloves. In that fight, although Naoya Inoue beat the shit out of that dude, the dude was tough. He made Naoya Inoue's work volume. It wasn't like the Ryaguchi fight. The Ryaguchi fight, it reminds me of a Junto fight. I think that's the best the best fight I can pull out of all Naoya Inoue's fight is that Ryaguchi fight. I think he caters better to Junto height wise,
Sir,
the skinniness,
Sir
everything.
Biz is in the building.
I think that fight with Ryaguchi with Naoya Inoue is the best, measuring stick I can get. And that was a tough fight with Ryaguchi. I think that fight went all the way. He's one of the guys that Naoya Inoue didn't stop, I think. I think it was scheduled for 10 rounds. It went to 10 rounds, right? Am I right? I don't think he knocked out Ryaguchi. I could be wrong. Hold on. I sometimes those fights were so long. I mean, when he fought Ryaguchi, what do you have? 4 professional fights? 5? Naoya
Sir Biz
Inoue.
says the only fighter that gave Inoue problems was Donaire versus Inoue 1.
When you get your orbital bone broken in the second round and you got to go 10 more rounds like that, that's a problem. That's a problem. That is definitely Donaire gave him. Donaire, what I love that fight so much because it answered a lot of questions for that Japanese dude for me in that time. You got to understand that I'm American and that I've seen a lot of times where these other guys from the other side of the world, they do great out there. But when they cross the pond and come to America, AJ falls, Ricky Haddon falls, like, that's the way it was.
Hey, Edwin, read that last comment real quick.
For a second. So when I was studying Naoya Inoue and I was, seeing you gotta ask yourself some questions. I've always said this while I was covering him throughout the years. I said I had a checklist. I want to see when he gets battle tested, who pushes him, what happens when he gets hurt. These are a lot of things. Let's see, when shit's not going right for you, can he think in a moment? How's his ring IQ? And in that fight with Nonito Donati, uh, Naoya Inoue answered a lot of questions for me. He really showed his battle tested, his fortitude, his willingness never to give up on himself. And then one of the most impressive things I took out of that fight was his ability to think his way through the situation, the problem. He thought his way through that broken orbital bone. He couldn't see Nonito Donari no more in that fight. I encourage you guys, go watch this fight. Watch what Naoya Inoue did in that fight. While he was standing in front of Donari, he was seeing three of them. He took his glove and blocked his eye like this. And he fought Nonito Donari with one eye like that. Pop, 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 like that. As soon as he protected it for 1 or 2 rounds, he took it off like that. His father told him, hit the one in the middle, right? He took his hand off, and whenever he would need it, he would cover the eye to concentrate. He would gather information, then he would remember it and fight. Naoya Inoue, he thought his way through that fight. He didn't want no exit. There's a lot of fighters that suffered orbital bone fractures. Big men like Dubois. When George Joyce broke his orbital bone, he quit. When Errol Spence Jr. broke Kell Brook's orbital bone, he quit. When Naoya Inoue's orbital bone got broken, he went 10 more rounds and won the fight and the Muhammad Ali trophy. He's built different. He didn't want to check out the fight. He wasn't looking for sympathy. He wasn't. And all Donaire kept doing was targeting his eye. For 10 more rounds, that bone is snapped in your face, and he's punching you in your face for 10 more rounds. And he won the fight. I seen really big men say, nope, I can't do it no more. And this dude, so there's a lot of things that Naoya Inoue has already been through. I don't think Junto, and then we pay attention to Junto's last fight and then the one before that. He elbowed the dude, headbutted the Japanese fighter. The Japanese fighter, he said it after the fight. The reason why I lost the fight because this dude headbutted me and elbowed me, and I couldn't see out of my eye. Those weren't Junto's punches that did that. Then in the next fight, he struggled against Hernandez. And then I got to ask myself just one question. If I put Hernandez in the ring with Naoya Inoue, does Hernandez make it to the 12th round? Period. Does Hernandez make it to the 12th round like he did with Junto? How about the other fight that Junto fought just before the Hernandez fought when he won that other belt? Does that guy last that long or give Naoya Inoue that much problems? No, he doesn't. And Hernandez does not see that 12th round. So I'm sitting here saying to myself, okay, all right, Junto, you had a little bit of struggle. And I know you're not going to come into this fight with Naoya Inoue. So I'm curious to see his approach. I'm curious to see what Junto Nakatani, Rudy Hernandez, all them dudes, came up with a game plan. Who did he bring in for sparring partners to emulate Naoya Inoue? And I'm interested. I'm curious to see what he does. Look, let me tell you something, Naoya Inoue, anybody on this planet can get their ass whooped. Anybody can lose and have an off night or just get their ass whooped. Naoya Inoue is not Superman. And nor do I think he is. I know what can happen in fighting. I've seen guys that were way better fighters get knocked out with that one punch. He just caught him. But if you fight him again, that other dude's going to whoop his ass. But so you can't take away that element out of the boxing when you're dealing with two big punchers like this. That element is there. I'm no, I'm no fool of that. One punch can change the fight. Um, but I'm just saying that I think that Naoya Inoue is on a different level. And I truly think that Junto, he took his opportunity now because if he didn't take this fight, he would have had to chase Naoya Inoue to another weight division, 126. Naoya Inoue was not gonna. I think that it had it not been for Junto, he would be in 126 right now. Naoya Inoue. The only reason
Yo,
why he's at
anyway, got a
126,
rematch clause.
huh?
Anyway's got a rematch clause in there because he knows he's gonna lose.
Where do you get these lies from?
Bro, Ring Magazine's the source for that. He
It,
got a rematch clause because he knows that Junto's about to put it on him.
no, no, no. Listen, I said, where do you get these lies from? Meaning, not the lie about the rematch clause, the lie that you just told that he is because he's afraid that he's gonna lose.
No, 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 no. I didn't say he was afraid. Definitely not afraid, but he's gonna take a loss.
He's
Yo,
not
shout
gonna
out to
take a
the
loss.
chat too. Let me see where we at here. Somebody
Yo, oh,
came in the
listen.
building.
Why don't we take this time in the while the show is going and read some of the top headlines in boxing? Could you go to the Ring magazine and read me off the article that they have on Teofimo Lopez and some of the top stories? Because I just want to inform the boxing world what's going on. So we're gonna take this time in this segment in the show to read off some of the top headlines and stories in boxing and where some of these fighters' futures and fights are headed. So front line.
Well, this one, the source on this one is ESPN. Teofimo Lopez is now in line to face Lindolfo Delgado for the vacant IBF super lightweight title following the departure of former champion Richard Hitchens from the division. The IBF moved quickly to organize a title fight after Hitchens vacated the belt to move up to welterweight, identifying Delgado as the leading contender. With other ranked fighters such as Oscar Duarte and Keyshawn Davis already scheduled for bouts in May, Lopez has been positioned as the next available option. Lopez's potential title shot comes shortly after his defeat to Shakur Stevenson in January, where he lost a wide decision in a bid for the WBO 140-pound elite. I mean, 140-pound title. Following that loss, Lopez had indicated plans to move up in weight, but the opportunity to compete for the vacant belt has brought him back into the super lightweight picture. According to his management team, Lopez has been formally notified of the opportunity and is expected to discuss his next move in the coming days. The situation leaves open the possibility of a high stakes clash with the unbeaten Delgado, who last fought in November and remains one of the division's most consistent contenders.
Wow. So Tio's getting a title fight after a loss?
Yep.
Wow, this is
And
coming
it's
becoming
for another
more
organization
frequent.
that he's never fought at either.
Huh?
It's for another sanctioned body that he's never fought for.
No, Tio had an IBF when he beat Loma.
Oh, in 35, 35,
Yeah, he
yes,
had
yes.
he's had relationships with them. Yes, he's had one of their belts. So but I don't think he ever honored like the weight cut claw for the IBF, if that's what you're alluding to. No. I can't remember a time where Tio came into a fight, the IBF champion, and you had to use the 10-pound rehydration. No. That's interesting, Frontline. And then remember, Frontline, he was moving up to 147. They gave him this opportunity, so he's going back
He's
to
coming back
compete.
down.
Yeah, for the belt that Richard Hitchens just vacated.
Yep.
That he was scheduled to fight Oscar Duarte. Now, Lindolfo Delgado, Frontline, tell me something. Did you like his last performance?
Nah,
All right, then.
he
This
didn't
is a
look.
great fight.
It is.
If
But you
Tio can
can't. You
make
got to understand.
that weight claw,
Well, the
what do you
weight
think?
clause. I think the weight clause is gonna have an effect on Teal for the simple fact that
Might.
he was already making weight changes to
Pero,
move up.
pero, pero Frontline, recuérdate que Teofimo López no es un hombre grande. Él
I
es
know that.
chiquito. Él puede, si él se pone para de él, he can shrink all that down. He's not a
No, he
big
can.
guy by standard. Like, Teo's not that big. I think, he's been down in these lower weight divisions for quite some time. And remember, he never actually got a fight at 147. So it's not like he went up. Now he has to bring his body down. Maybe he ate a couple extra meals, but probably nothing.
Nothing
He,
crazy.
yeah, I think he could turn around quite easily. Now, you got me there with the weight cut, with the 10-pound rehydration the next day. That might be a concern. And I can agree with you with that. How good is T.O. making 140? Or how big he actually was? How much weight was he normally cutting? Was it a big amount? Was it a low amount? So I need, there's a couple more pieces of the puzzle I need to put it together. I need a bit more information and like how much weight was he actually cutting, and then I'll be like, yeah, he should be able to make the IBF rehydration claw pretty good. And one of my questions would have been, I want to ask the chat, yo, chat, why didn't Oscar Duarte get the shot for Richard Hitchens's belt when he was scheduled to fight Richard Hitchens and Richard Hitchens vacated it? Why didn't they put Oscar Duarte against Tio? What again? I like, what the fuck, right?
Well, the reason they said it in there is
Can't do that.
because
Yeah, they're not gonna do it. I don't know.
he's got a fight scheduled already. That's why.
Cancel that fucking fight for the title fight that you should have had right now. Oscar Duarte should be IBF champion right now. We're telling the truth. He should be the
Yeah.
IBF champion. There should be a rule in place that if under certain circumstances, if you make weight the first time and the second time, and then you pull out on the fight, they should award the other guy the belt.
Well, Bones just said that they both got the same trainer, him and Delgado, Duarte and Delgado.
That's the fucking yes. Thank you, my man. Thank you for that's a okay. So, trying to get a fight for both your fighters. Oscar, you already got you a fight. Then Delgado, he's also my fighter, and now I'm getting him a title fight. But do you think that Oscar feels played in the gym? Like you bumped me out the way to get this guy the title fight that I should have had? How does that work? Or does he say, okay, teammate, I'm glad it's you?
No, I think Duarte wanted this one bad.
Listen,
I
man.
don't know. Hey, you heard about Frank Warren's card getting canceled in France
Talk
or
about it. Can you
Paris?
read the article? I'm going to put you back on the screen. It's your show, my man. Go.
No, don't give it to me.
Nah. Yeah, when I have you reading the article, you'll go back and see it. I got you on the big screen. I'm in the little one.
um, pulling it up. The Yoka and Okoli. Lawrence Okoli will not be replaced for his scheduled bout with Tony Yoka, with the entire Paris event now officially canceled following his failed drug test. The heavyweight contest was set to headline a Queensberry promotion card at the Adidas Arena, but plans collapsed after Okoli returned an adverse finding from a VADA test.
Mm-mm.
Reports later indicated the substance involved was GHRP 2 and its M8 metabolic,
That's a steroid, brother.
um, a synthetic compound that stimulates the release of human growth hormone.
See, that's a steroid.
Promoter Yep. Promoter Frank Warren had initially explored the possibility of securing a replacement opponent for Yoka, but organizers ultimately decided to cancel the event altogether. A statement confirmed the decision, citing circumstances beyond their control and advising ticket holders to seek refunds.
Okoli addressed the situation on social media, referencing prior injuries and confirming he would cooperate fully with the investigation. He expressed confidence in the process would clear his name while declining to provide further comment at this stage. The source is The Ring.
Whoa, whoa, whoa. There was a lot we got to break down here. Hold up, my man. Hold up, hold up, hold up, hold up, hold up. First of all, when they scrapped the entire event because you were like the main event or whatever, and you get caught in a situation like this in a PE or steroid scandal, first of all, when there's like situations in boxing where people should have never been even reported, like Subir Matias, it was below the reporting limit. But when you got a guy, what I noticed in that Ring magazine article, they literally named what he got bagged with. That means that when they caught him, the drug or the steroid wasn't in his system for out of his system or going through his system. It was actually in his system, meaning they actually found the main component. That means that the drug was working at its highest capacity. They didn't catch you coming off of something. Usually they'll catch the athlete coming off and using something to clean that up. So they catch you by that way and they say, we know what you were using to clean yourself. They didn't catch you coming off of a cycle. They didn't catch you using something to come off. They caught you on the cycle. They literally named off what he got. They definitely know this is what he had. And when you hear that word in any sentence, metabolic, that's a fucking steroid, hands down. You are cheating. I don't know what your excuse is going to be, but when you get caught for something like that, I got to admit, it wasn't coming out of your body. They literally GHBM whatever, bro. That's what you were on.
Yo, and the funny thing is, nobody's talking about it.
No, 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 no. When these things, they try to sweep it under the rug. With certain fighters, that Subriel scandal that wouldn't even shouldn't have been reported was talked about for months. For about a whole month. You think anybody has said anything about this? Whatever happened to Jaime Munguia's finding? Whatever happened to somebody? Yo, that's why you know that sometimes boxing is driven by narratives. And whoever because bro, that shit that gentleman just got caught on is way worse than that Austrian Ryan Garcia got caught with. That shit right there, you get caught with that, what he's taking right there on fight night, you can be criminally charged. You can go to jail. If the other team wants to press charges on you, that's your ass. You know that, right? You can go to jail for shit like that. Bro, you could take a steroid or a PE for eye to eye coordination. A lot of baseball players have been known to take those types because they got to make contact with the ball, right? With a PE like that, you're going to get hit with punches you never should have got hit with. Hit that PE is going to make him so accurate. You're gonna be moving. He's going pop, 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 pop. He never had those kind of skills. He can kill you with that. You'll take so many punches. A man can kill you on that shit. You need to be charged. You need to be kicked out of boxing for life, a lifetime ban. They shouldn't play with things like that. You know what I'm saying? But now that other guy, he didn't get caught with no PE like that. I was just making a reference of how some of these are dangerous. The gentleman didn't get caught with anything like that, and he didn't enter in competition. He wasn't actually in the ring with a person. You understand? He got caught before that. So in that sense, no, the only foul play here is actually to himself, to his team, to his family name, the shame that's gonna go on your boxing record. So he didn't really commit any crimes, only to himself. and cheating everybody else on that boxing card that just lost their opportunity at a payday because of you. The ripple effect of what you chose to do cost all of us. They didn't just cost you, they didn't just replace you, they canceled the entire card. That's the effect of what you chose to do had on all of us. And I think that is something that we need to talk about. And I just did, So, and some of these top stories and everything. What else we have in the boxing news?
Let
Yeah.
me see what else we got. Let me see what else we got. We got the the people that were added to the Keyshawn Davis
And
and
Albright fight.
Albright card.
I like that fight again. I like it. I
They
like
got
it. Unfinished business.
unfinished business. They got Calvin Davis, which is the older brother.
Yep.
They finally found so it says Calvin Davis and John Santana, which is a Dominican fighter out of he lives and trains out of Puerto Rico.
Hmm.
Um he just got added to the card. It says here that Calvin Davis and John Santana have been confirmed for the undercard of the May 16th rematch between Keyshawn Davis and Nair Albright at Scope Arena in Norfolk, Virginia. Calvin will step up to welterweight for a 10-round bout against Peter Dobson. The 29-year-old returns to the same venue where he suffered a unanimous decision loss to Albright in June of 25. A night that also saw tensions escalate backstage involving the Davis brothers. Dobson enters the fight after a recent win in March, but had previously lost three consecutive decisions against Conor Ben, Jalil Hackett, and Jesus Saracho. The matchup offers Davis a chance to rebound while adjusting to the new weight class. Also added to the card was undefeated featherweight prospect Santana. He'll face Christian Cruz Chacon over 10 rounds. Santana was active in 25 with three victories, including a fifth round stoppage of Alexis Eduardo Molina Jimenez, while Cruz Chacon comes off a draw against Mohamed Yakubov. The event was also featured former champion Brian Norman Jr. returning and a co-feature against Josh Wagner as the Norfolk card continues to build depth ahead of its headline rematch.
Hmm. So, is there anything else
No, that's it.
that's it in the boxing? So there you go, ladies and gentlemen. We just did a quick recap on some of the top stories that are going on in boxing right now, and some of the situations that are going on in boxing, like Frank Warren had to cancel the entire fight, and people also mentioning that they had to cancel their trips, and they were going to go out, and some people were actually planning to go out to see that fight. So that's what happened, and that's the ripple effect of some of these decisions that some of these fighters make. It's not
Hey,
only
and then
going to affect
you
you.
you
Yeah.
can't forget about the social media beef that's going on between Alicia Baumgardner and Dubois' sister, the Dubois, the what's her
Oh,
name?
oh
Fuck,
yeah.
I forgot.
Um, um, Carolina
Dubois.
Dubois.
Yeah, there's
I
they got
think that's
some
her name, right?
I think so. They got beef going on social media. I don't know much about it. I don't follow the drama part
Yeah,
of things.
so much.
It's it's shit talk 101 for boxing. You know what I
No,
mean?
no, it's great because let the ladies, what I'm saying, get at each other and promote a big fight. They need a good buzz. You know what I'm saying? So let the ladies. My Two Tone went on Najee Cigar Talk and actually talked to Clarissa Shield. He was trolling her the whole time, by the way. I think he did good. I think that he got Clarissa Shields to laugh a little. I think Clarissa Shields, in fact, is starting a new approach in media. Usually, Clarissa Shield would have tore into Two Tone's ass. You know how she is. She's a real pit bull, right? But you could see that Clarissa was practicing more tolerance in the interview. Sometimes people don't pick up on these things, body language. I'm real high up on that. What's going on? Read the situation. I think that Clarissa was trying to lighten up. She's trying to bring a new vibe to the social media with everything that she's been through and all the criticism that she's always being that girl that doesn't see anybody else on her level, you know. And then the other girls in boxing are saying, yo, Clarissa, we're at a really unique time in women boxing. Why don't we kind of come together? And Clarissa's like, no. But I can understand that kind of mindset in an athlete. You have to understand that Michael Jordan and LeBron James have two different mindsets when it comes to being a competitor. You see, LeBron James, rather than beating everybody that was greater than him, what he decided to do was join them. LeBron didn't become win as many rings by himself. He went to the Heat and got and made like a fucking super team. He needed to go with other great players in order to win. Michael Jordan viewed that as a weakness. Michael Jordan would never call Larry Bird to his team, Magic Johnson. He wanted to play against them. Michael said, I don't want no super team. I want to be able to beat the Pistons, fucking Charles Barkley and all of them, fucking the New York Knicks. Michael Jordan viewed competition different. He didn't want help. He wanted to beat you. LeBron took it. He wanted to come together. So when Clarissa Shields saw all the girls making like a super girl league and they were all going to Netflix, she didn't want to join your girl club. She wanted to compete against all of you, and they didn't understand Clarissa's mentality. But it was in the wrong era, Clarissa, when the girls needed you to be their Wonder Woman. They needed you to stand in front of the Justice League with them because at that time, you guys needed to come together. And Clarissa was there and is the Wonder Woman. So she needed to do that, but she decided to fight against them. And that's where Clarissa and the fans turned on her. So now I see her in interviews now, and I see her in an interview with Two Tone. An interview I never thought she would take for one. With him? Shit, that's fucking Alicia Bungard's biggest supporter. Two Tone, right? That's not a secret. And when she took the interview, for as calm as she was, for you, I had to read the room. I saw Clarissa and I said, she's practicing tolerance. She's trying a new approach and not to always allow the people to take that out of her and crash out. She's maturing, she's knowing how to deal with these situations. Same shit with me and all of us in our everyday life. Until you read the person and you find out who they are. I remember I had a fallout with Two Tone because I was just meeting him. And I don't hang around with him in the neighborhood or nothing. So the only time I get to know him is like through a monitor or TV screen. I didn't know he was like that. Two Tone. I didn't know Two Tone's always going to be a troll. He's always going to be trying to be funny. He's going to take shots at you. That had I read him and I known that, I would have never argued with him because I knew I would have known how to judge him. Now that I see Tone, now we get along because I know what you about. I'm not going to take you serious like that, because unless you say something real crazy to the left, but because you got to know who he is. He's a personality.
Yeah, and I'll be the first to admit I'm one that misjudges him too. So shout out to Two Tone.
Yo, he's that's how he is. And like Clarissa, to know about Two Tone, that he's a massive troll, he's gonna fuck with you, he got jokes. The way she also handled the situation, lightened up, didn't have to show she was like, Tone, fuck you, like, and it was great. So I see both sides and stuff, and that's what I just mean about reading people, reading the situation, reading, and that's what I'm learning. I'm my two. I practice, you know, patience and tolerance, but at the same time, be smart about your next move. You know what I mean? Shit like that. So I think that Clarissa was very smart about her next move, not allowing herself and Two Tone to bring her out of character and start saying, Alicia Bungard, F that, F this. And, and it would have went real left. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, yeah, it's just um I think that a lot of boxing that headlines right now that are going on, they're very interesting. Look, I don't know what's going on in boxing as far as guys losing fights and getting title fights. I don't know what the hell we're doing. This is becoming more and more all the time. They saw they got away with it here. They saw they got away with it there. And they're doing it again. Once Manny Pacquiao came out of retirement after 4.5 years, got that Mario Barrio fight, that was it. Ryan Garcia came off a world title fight, by the way. When he fought Rolly, that was for the regular WBA world title, right? So that was a title fight. He lost that fight and was awarded a title fight. Teofimo Lopez was in a title fight with Shakur Stevenson for his WBO world title. He lost his world title and was awarded an IBF world title fight. And the list is going on and on right now. And I
Hey,
have to
dude,
remind
Edwin.
you here at Round One Sports Talk, I will remind you before you get frustrated, the key rule of boxing. What is it, Frontline? Boxing is a business disguised as a sport.
Disguise as a sport. Hey, real quick. I got this a week ago and I never shared it with you, but there's how can I explain it? There's a new so it's starting July 4th. It's called The Fight. The Zone and TNT team up in a new boxing show. The Zone and TNT Sports are teaming up to launch a new monthly boxing series called The Fight, starting July 4th in the US. The series will feature fighters from top promotional stables, including Top Rank, Matchroom Boxing, Golden Boy Promotion, and Queensberry Promotions.
Nice, nice. I think that that guy, in fact, Mike Leon, there was actually talking about that, right? And he was saying that his job entails he has to bring that HBO, Showtime. Remember when just before of a fight, Larry Merchant would come out and um, boxing has been around for 100 years, but tonight you will see two fight, and you would hear that, like and what he's trying to do is create that, right? But not only in the moment for the fight. His job is to keep that buzz going after the fight until they get their next fight. So that way the fighter is not out of the public's out of sight, out of mind type thing. Ironically, Mike Leone, what he's trying to do, in fact, while promoting on social media platforms, I don't want to mention any platforms, but while being on a social media platform, advertising that he's going to take your job. What in fact he's actually trying to do is what we're doing. We keep the fighters' names alive while they don't have a fight schedule. That's what the fuck I'm in front of this microphone right now for. You're coming on telling me that you're going to come up with a product that will eliminate us. That's what you're doing. While using us to promote your idea. Coming up and using your platforms to ask you for your advice, your ideas, take them, put it in their show, and these other little shows would be obsolete then. You understand? Sometimes you got to learn about business, man, and what is your end game. You got to be able to identify things in life, see things through. I step back and I start to question things. I always do that. I not only do it for me, I do it for you. If I ask something and you say, man, round one said something, now I got you thinking. And now you think and I think we're going to come up with a better solution to this problem. I got all of you guys. So, look, um, I think that I will always continue to do a hell of a job of promoting these fights. I will always try new ways to elevate my game. As you can see where I come from, how I started. I am truly self made. No top rank, no DAZN, none of that shit made me. I took you guys with me on my first adventure, going out to cover a Subriel Matias fight on a hope, a whim, and a prayer. No contacts, but not afraid. Round one took it there. And I fucking did pretty good, man, on my own. Just will and the desire not to quit. I truly got myself to where I'm at today, you know? And thanks to you guys for subscribing and being part of the Round One Sports Talk family. And I mean that. Like, I'm not a journalist. I never claimed to be. I'm not a coach. I never claimed to know the best boxing. All I do is hope to give you guys a great show, talk boxing, and about a sport I'm real passionate about. And I hope you guys are entertained. And I hope I get better at this. This is something I like to do. I enjoy this. And you know, I'm not gonna let anybody stop me, but I'm also gonna read a room. You feel me? And I think that a lot of these situations and a lot of entities that enter into boxing, like SUFA, Pro Box, Box Lab, you gotta respect competition. You got one or two choices when something else shows up in your life that's trying to challenge you. Fold or outsmart them. Beat them in your own way. You got two choices. Walk away or stand up and fight for what you believe in. And for as long as I'm around and you guys keep tuning in, I will always come on and be Round One Sports Talk. You know, I'm always gonna compete. Maybe who knows, man? Maybe I might get a studio one day. The Round One Sports Talk studio. You know what I mean? Uh, we all should dream, be able to dream, and do something. You know what I mean? I encourage you. Um, I know I'll never be a world champion. I know I'll never be a world champion and shit, right? But I learned a different way to renew myself, and give to boxing in a different way, reinvent myself, so to speak. I might not be able to fight professionally again and my time has passed, but I could still enjoy boxing and meet some of these fighters. And that's my goal. And I encourage you guys to support me, on my journey through boxing, learning boxing every day, learning more and more, getting more familiar with these situations, getting yelled at a lot. Okay, cool, but I try not to take things personal because I have a vision. I have a goal. If you ever see me sitting there being quiet, just know round one's thinking and he's choosing a better angle. If you really think you're gonna, just think that round one is not calculating his moves, his strategies and stuff, like you have to understand that at the same time you have to have composure within yourself. You always got to remember that when someone's yelling at you, they're usually projecting their inability to deal with their own problems and they're trying to pass it on to you. Sometimes people try to yell at you or come off to you because of the fact that, you see, no one ever attacks something that's not solid. If I wasn't a threat or if I wasn't someone worthy of arguing with, you would never try to yell at me or put me down. Now, would you? You're only trying to project your insecurities onto me. And it's up to me not to fight, to fall for that. As a man, you got to learn when to choose and pick and choose your battle and give out your energy on things that, because when someone tries to say something about me, they might say things about me, they might have jokes about me, but that's not how I see myself. So what you view me and the way you talk about me is not a direct reflection of how I view myself. So why should I lower myself to answer you? I hold myself to a higher standard. And if you want to try to play that you're beneath me role with me, I'll leave you right there arguing with yourself. Silence sometimes is a stronger weapon. It's not a sign of weakness. So fight fan, yo, Chain, my man, my boy, $20 super chat in the building, Chain. Listen,
He
fight
says,
fans,
"Dream on, bro. We all do."
thank you. And I just want to leave you guys with this tonight as I close up this segment here at Round One Sports Talk. Pay attention to your kids, your family. I hope you guys have a great night and may you guys all be blessed. I will be tuning in for these fights. And we also have David the Monster Benavidez also fighting on May 2nd with Zuldo. I think tomorrow in the morning we should talk about that card. You know, Naoya Inoue's kid brother is also fighting on this card with Naoya Inoue. He's in the co-main event. It is majority Japanese card out there in Japan, understandable, right? Um, but we have more action later on that day with David the Monster Benavidez and Zuldo Ramirez, and that is for unification. We can talk about that and much more headlines in the boxing world. So, ladies and gentlemen, fight fans, thank you for tuning in. Don't forget to hit that like button, please. Right now, I'm asking you, hit the like button for me, guys. And if you haven't subscribed to the channel, subscribe to the channel, become a Round One Sports Talk member. Yo, Frontline, you the man, my dude. Thank you for coming on always. Being my co-host on the show. What does Shane say there at the last right there? What was that? We all die is
We
how
all
we
die.
live
It's how we live
out.
that counts. Peace
Peace.
all.
Yes. Thank you, Chan. And I'll see you at the fight. So, fight fans, I'm on to the next one after this one here at Round One Sports Talk. Have a good night, gentlemen. Peace.
Peace.
Rodillo, good night, Frontline. Peace.
Good night.